I smoothed the collar of my beige cardigan, telling myself I was fine. On the chair sat a neatly wrapped gift bag set of children's picture books I'd scoured 3 bookstores to find. It was for my grandson Noah's 5th birthday. Today was his birthday. I wasn't invited. I'd prepared everything early. It's the apple pie I always baked for family gatherings. A hand-embroidered handkerchief with an N for Noah's 5th birthday. I'd even booked a taxi to Adam's house, my son. Everything was ready. Except for one thing. The text came at 10 a.m. I was arranging flowers on the table when my phone buzzed. Mom, Vanessa thinks it's better if you don't come today. It's not about you. She just wants to keep things relaxed. Hope you understand. I'm sorry. No call, no voice. It's just a few lines as cold as an early spring breeze. I stood there, scissors in hand, flowers untouched on the table, time draining from the room. I thought I'd grown used to the distance. That after years of being a mother, then a grandmother, I'd learned to accept it. But no, the sting of being shut out from the home I built with my only son hurt as much as the first time. I reread the text, searching for a softening word. There was none. It's just a polite request for me to disappear. I sat down, hands resting on the gift bag. The red ribbon I'd tied last night was slightly askew. I thought to fix it, but it felt pointless. Noah wouldn't see it. He'd blow out candles, pose for photos, open gifts from those chosen to be there. And me, I'd be an absent footnote in his memory. I'd never done anything to hurt Vanessa. I'd been polite, stayed out of how she raised her son. I never complained about her food, never demanded respect. I was just there. Quietly, maybe in her world. Even my presence was an inconvenience. I wondered what Adam said when she suggested I not come. Did he hesitate? Push back? Or did he stay silent, as he had so many times before, choosing peace over truth? Number 1 answered me. It's just the living room walls, the ticking clock, and the photo on the mantel a dome as a boy. Grinning wide next to a birthday cake I'd stayed up all night making. He was 5 then. Like Noah now. I stood and walked to the window. The sky wasn't pretty today, cloudy with patchy light. I wondered if in the house just a few blocks away, anyone thought of me, even for a second, amid the laughter. Probably not. I didn't go to the party instead. Poured myself a cup of tea and sat in the armchair by the window. My usual spot. When something in my heart needed untangling. Noon light spilled in quietly, pooling on the worn wooden table. In my mind, I pictured the party unfolding. Maybe the long table in Adam's living room, draped with a cream tablecloth, blue balloons, tied along the staircase, a 3-tiered cake, children's laughter, camera clicks. Vanessa smiling brightly as if everything was perfect. And me, always here. With an unbaked apple pie and an unopened gift. If I told someone this story, they'd probably say, oh, it's just a misunderstanding. Or worse, Vanessa has the right to feel uncomfortable. Sure, everyone has rights, but I have the right to feel hurt. 2. I pulled an old birthday card from the drawer when Noah scribbled last year. A messy drawing of me with curly hair holding a cake. Below it, in wobbly letters, I love you. Grandma, I rested my hand on those words, gently, as if the memory might shatter if I pressed too hard. I used to think love was enough, that if I was patient, stayed out of the way, gave gifts on time, and didn't ask too much, I'd keep a place however small in my son's family. But maybe, to Vanessa, my patience was invisibility. A quiet woman who didn't need to show up. My absence seemed convenient for them. I remembered the last time I visited Adam's house. Vanessa was on the phone, thinking I couldn't hear. If your mom comes, I don't know what to say. I'm tired of her silence. I was silent. Yes, not out of spite, but because I thought kindness meant not making things worse. I didn't know whether to be angry or sad. Maybe both. Maybe neither. It's just empty. The afternoon dragged on. I went to the backyard, watered the lavender I planted last year. The flowers were still alive. No one but me noticed. Some things exist without recognition. I thought of Noah. Would he ask, "Why didn't Grandma come today?" And what would Adam say? That I was busy, or just change the subject. I remembered the one time I forgot Adam's birthday, his 10th. The only time in my life I forgot. I was working a night shift and he was asleep when I got home. The next morning, I hugged him for so long and said, "I'm sorry, I messed up." Just once. And I never missed another birthday until today. But this time, I didn't forget. I was forgotten. I often wondered, when did things start to change? Was it the day Adam brought Vanessa home? His eyes sparkling, hands clasped? As if the whole world fit in the arms of a blonde woman with a slender frame and a voice soft as morning dew. I still remember that dinner. I made the lasagna Adam loved as a kid. Vanessa ate sparingly. She said, "So traditional." But her eyes weren't praising. They were appraising. Polite, but distant. I didn't mind. I thought young people are different. I just need to stay out of their way, not add pressure. Love them, and they'll understand. Then came the wedding. Vanessa designed the invitations, picked the venue, curated the guest list. I was told last. I didn't object. I only asked softly, "Can we pick out the flowers together?" Vanessa smiled. "No need, I've already ordered them. I like everything to match." I nodded. Matching meaning no room for spontaneity. For me, then their first year of marriage, Adam called less. Vanessa never called. I sent pies, fruit baskets, cards for holidays. The response was always the same. "Thanks, Mom. We got it." Cold, proper. Nothing extra. When Noah was born, I went to the hospital. I stood outside the delivery room. Quietly. No one said whether I should come in or stay out. And I understood I was in the wrong spot in their new family portrait. I wasn't in Noah's first photo. It became clearer when Noah turned 3. Whenever I visited, Vanessa was busy with work. Upstairs or out. Adam said, "She's just tired, Mom. Don't take it personally." I didn't, but I remembered once. I took Noah to the park without asking. Vanessa texted Adam, "I don't want your mom taking Noah places like that. It makes me uncomfortable." I never took him again. I knew boundaries were necessary. I didn't expect to be drawn as something to manage. I didn't yell, didn't argue. I stepped back slowly, asked less, visited less, expected less, but the more I retreated, the more I vanished. Each time we met, I tried. About Vanessa's job, complimented her cooking, even learned to say organic when buying gifts for Noah. But it was like tossing pebbles into a lake. No ripples dot an atom, the boy I stayed up nights nursing through fevers. Who once said, "Mom, you're the strongest person in the world." Now stood silently between two women, choosing peace over loyalty. When I got that text barring me from Noah's birthday, I wasn't surprised. The rift had been growing for years. That day, it just broke open. That night, I sat in the darkened kitchen. The only light, a faint glow from the hallway. The tea in my cup had gone cold, the apple pie still unbaked in the oven. I looked at Noah's gift, still wrapped, untouched. No tears. I was out of them. Just a quiet emptiness so deep I could almost hear my heartbeat tightening. I stood, grabbed a piece of paper, and wrote a short letter. My hand trembled, but the words were steady. "Dear Noah, I'm sorry I couldn't come today. But this gift is for you, whether you open it or not. When you grow up, if you ever wonder why Grandma wasn't at this birthday, remember, grown-ups get left out sometimes too. But real love doesn't need to be there to exist." I folded the paper, tucked it inside the book, and retied the loosened red ribbon. The next morning, I dropped the gift off at Adam's doorstep. No doorbell, no note beyond for Noah on the card. I came home, went to my small study, and opened the bookshelf. There was a book I'd bought last year but never read, Late Bloomers, about people starting over at an age no one expects. I turned to the first page, not to change anyone else, just to remind myself I still had a life to live. That afternoon, I walked to the park. I hadn't been there alone in years. The benches were old, the maples shedding leaves at their own pace. I picked a quiet spot. A young mother sat across from me, gently rocking a stroller. We didn't speak for a few minutes. Then she said, "Do you have grandkids?" I nodded. "A grandson, 5 years old. Cute age." She smiled. "My daughter's just 4 months." I smiled back. No need to explain more. We talked a bit about motherhood, losing patience, feeling lost in the family you built. As we parted, she said, "I hope when my girl grows up, she won't forget me." I didn't say hope isn't enough. I just wished her a nice afternoon and walked home. On the way, my steps felt slow but lighter. Each one was a letting go, not of Noah or Adam, but of the illusion that I had to be present to love fully. Love sometimes needs space to breathe, and I was learning to breathe for the first time without needing anyone to notice. 3 days later, Adam came. I heard his car pull up, then his familiar footsteps on the wooden porch. I didn't open the door right away. I waited to see if he'd knock or leave a note, like I had. He knocked. I opened the door. Adam stood there, empty-handed, eyes uneasy. "Mom," he said, "can I come in?" I nodded, stepping aside. We sat at the dining table where we'd once shared simple, warm meals as mother and son. I poured tea. Adam didn't touch it. He looked around, then asked, "You still keep that painting I made as a kid?" I glanced at the frame on the wall, 2 stick figures under a lopsided house, a big round sun behind them. "Yeah," I said. "You called it our home." Adam gave a small smile, then looked down. "Mom," he started. "I'm sorry. I didn't invite you to Noah's birthday. Stay quiet. Vanessa, she just feels stifled when you're around. She says your silence makes her feel judged." I set my teacup down. "And what do you think?" He looked up. "I think you're just quiet. But I also think I took the easy way out. I chose to keep her happy instead of standing up for you." Looked at my son, the man I held through feverish nights, taught to ride a bike, cheered loudest for Ada's graduation. Now he sat before me, grown boy unsure whose side to take. "Adam," I said slowly, "I don't need you to pick a side. I just need to know I still have a place. Not at the dinner table." In your heart, he was quiet for a long time. Then he exhaled. "I didn't know you were hurting this much." Ka gave a faint smile. "No one does if I don't say it." "Then why didn't you?" Shrugged. "I thought love meant enduring. Now I'm learning to love by knowing when to step back." Adam leaned forward, voice softer. "Noah asked why you didn't come. I said you were busy, but he didn't believe me." I looked out the window. The leaves were starting to turn. "He'll understand someday," I said. "And I hope he knows his grandma loves him enough to not fight for space with his parents." Adam stood. "Are you mad at me?" I shook my head. I was sad, not mad. I spent so much time raising you. Now I'm spending time raising myself. He came over and hugged me. Not tight, not rushed, but real. I patted his back. For the first time in years, neither of us spoke to please the other. We just were. When Adam left, I walked him to the door. Back inside, I saw his tea had gone cold. I didn't reheat it. I poured it out and brewed a fresh pot. For me, a week later, a package arrived in the mail. The sender's name was written in careful, childish scrawl. Noah Harper. Inside was a crayon drawing dot. It was me, Grandma, holding hands with Noah. A sun and a balloon floated above. In the corner, in wobbly letters, "Grandma, come next time." I sat down, folding the drawing carefully, as if it might crease, and placed it in the old frame by the mantel. No one needed to say it. Noah missed me. And maybe in his little heart, I was still important. I didn't call Adam, didn't send a thank you. I let it rest. That morning, I took the apple pie to the community center. A group of older women gathered there to read and share stories. I'd turned down their invitations before, saying I was busy. But missing Noah's birthday made me realize no one's busy forever. Only choosing to be busy for others while forgetting themselves. They welcomed me with warm smiles. No one asked if I had a grandson or a son. They just asked tea or coffee. I chose tea and smiled. That afternoon, I tended my garden, trimmed dead branches, pulled weeds, planted new seeds. Life is like a garden. If you don't tend it yourself, it turns to overgrowth. At night, I brewed tea, opened my book, and read in silence. My phone buzzed. A text from Adam. Mom, dinner this Sunday. Vanessa won't be there. I'll cook. Oh. Stared at the words for a long time, then replied, okay, but I'm bringing pie. No one gets to take that job. No apologies. None needed. We were taking small steps, slow enough not to break what was already cracked, but real enough not to go back to how things were. Before bed, I looked at Noah's drawing one more time. I used to think love meant being at every party, every birthday, every milestone. Now I know. Love is sometimes letting others miss you in their emptiest moments. No explanations needed, just real enough and lasting enough. I'm no longer the mother waiting for her son's call. I'm a woman learning to live for herself, loving quietly, becoming a memory soft, but irreplaceable.
Thank you for being here. Don't forget to subscribe and share your own story in the comments. Your voice matters,